Kara. Um, Thank you again for continuing this session with me. So we have taken the time to hear your story. We've also done a physical examination. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about the questionnaire that I asked you to fill out prior to coming to meet with me today.
It's a pleasure, whatever that's worth.
Thank you. So prior to going through the assessment, though, I would really love to hear again what your goal is for the program.
Yeah, my goals are to eat healthier, eat fresh foods, and to prioritize making time to make those meals and eat more out of my fridge as opposed to snack and, just grab whatever I can at work.
Nice. So could we say that your goal then is to eat a healthier diet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's go ahead then and take a look at the assessment.
Great.
Did anything come up for you when you were filling this form out?
No, I mean, again, it just emphasized my goal, which, coming into this process, I wasn't so clear on what my goal was, but I recognize now through a thorough assessment the need, and excited to be on board.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to have you as well.
Thanks.
Was the assessment fun to fill out?
Fun's not a word I would describe, but it was thorough and educational, and so I've been taught knowledge is power. So I feel more informed and aware of what my habits have been and maybe how I can improve. But that's also why I'm here with you.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, let's get started then, and we'll kind of go through it together, pointing out, focusing on the things that I thought could be relevant to your goal. I'm going to ask you to possibly elaborate on things.
Sure.
So let's go ahead and get started.
Great.
So looking at some different symptoms, you said that you're oftentimes not hungry in the morning, you have an overall low appetite, and you feel like skipping breakfast.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I just don't feel hungry, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm eating so late at night. But yeah, I mean, I'm more interested in just coffee and caffeine.
Okay.
And I know I need to eat, but I just I don't know. I've just never really been a big breakfast person.
Okay. Well, that's really good.
But, I understand it's very important. Mm-hmm. It's just not inherent in me.
So you eat late at night. When do you normally stop eating at night, in the evenings?
My work, again, I wait tables and serve, and so it depends on the night. It might be super busy and just getting tidbits of bites between running around tables and stuff like that, or it's at the end of my shift, and then I finally have time to relax and actually eat something. So, and within that environment, there's typically you need to just decompress after, and so having some alcohol just to be done with the night, and maybe some late night snacking after that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And you're typically done with your shift between midnight and 1, is that correct?
On the weekends, otherwise it could be, if it's really slow, like 9 o'clock to 11. So it's a hit or miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So another thing that you answered yes to was about catching colds at the beginning of the winter. Is that a pretty regular thing for you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once you've gotten your first cold, how frequent is it for you to continue to kind of feel sick through the winter?
I just don't know if it goes away.
Oh, okay.
I think there's, I just constantly feel like I've got this congestion there. Whatever else happening, that once summer comes, I finally dry out, or I don't know. So,
do you have a wood burning stove in your home?
I grew up with one.
Okay.
But right now we don't.
You don't? Okay. And you do have pets, correct?
Uh-huh.
But you've never had an issue with allergies or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
So.
Okay. just want to cover all the bases.
Sure.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's just keep looking through here. So another thing that I identified by looking at your food journal, and then also by what you said here, is that you do eat less than 5 servings of colorful vegetables or fruits a day. So that directly kind of relates back to your goal, right? I'm wanting to
Sure.
have a healthier diet. That you crave sweets, breads, rolls, cookies, pasta, pizza, or chips.
Might as well add cheese to that.
And
list,
then
yeah.
cheese, so dairy,
Yeah.
or just cheese.
I love cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who doesn't love cheese? Okay, so craving these things are different from acting on them. How often do you think you eat them? Eat what you crave?
Going through the journal, it was only like 3 days, so
Mhm.
I think I was like subconsciously aware that okay, I'm documenting this stuff, and so I tried to be a little bit better
Okay.
than I might normally be, whatever that's
Okay.
worth.
Well, that's normal. It's very
Yeah.
normal. So thank you for sharing that.
And beyond it, it's if it's around or it's easy,
Mm-hmm.
it's a fast-paced, again, somewhat of a lifestyle, and not necessarily in Sandpoint, Idaho, but just in general, serving and stuff like that. So just quick on the run if that stuff's available.
And what time of
Grab
day
it.
do you normally crave it? Is there a specific time?
Well, again, the craving or the consumption, two different arguments, but I think the craving is, definitely not for breakfast, but
Okay.
anytime
Right.
in the evening,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. So could it also be used as maybe a little bit of a stimulant for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just to take a look at that. You also mentioned that you get headaches, irritability, shakiness if meals are skipped or delayed.
Yeah.
So does that happen frequently throughout a day?
To be honest, it depends on how much water I've had.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
which is something I really struggle with.
Yeah.
So, trying to be better. But,
Oh, good. I'm
well.
glad.
but yeah, I think I'm hypoglycemic, or it's like if I don't have enough substance or sugar, I don't even know what it is, but for me, it affects me.
Okay.
I get a little cranky.
That's good to know. Okay. One last thing, and then I would really like to hit on the food journal.
Okay.
But you did mention that you're cold when everyone else is warm. Where do you experience coldness? Is it all over? Is it focused on limbs?
Yeah, it's mainly on the limbs and
Okay.
hands and feet.
Okay. Is this all the time, all seasons, or can you narrow it down?
I mean, mainly through the wintertime, but the
Okay.
winter can last from September to June.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, that is really good to know. So let's go ahead then and let's talk about the food journal.
Okay.
And I would really like to thank you for filling this out, because as you said before, it does make you a little more conscious of what you're eating.
Totally.
Like it can make some people self-conscious. So I'd just like you to say that I'm looking at this completely non-judgmental, strictly from a clinical perspective.
I appreciate that.
So thank you.
Yeah.
A couple things that I really did notice that I think possibly could be related to some of the things you're feeling. And we'll go into all of this the next time we meet.
Okay.
But I did notice that your water consumption did seem to be a little bit low.
Huh. Yeah.
So I think that could correlate with what you're finding. Yeah. Also, I did notice that you were filling up on a lot of things in the evening, which relates to what you said about not being very hungry in the morning.
Right.
And so I'm just curious, like overall during the day, what is your energy level like? And how hungry are you over the course of the day?
I'll be honest, there's kind of like this, when you serve people food, there's just this like disconnect from serving yourself, and it's just kind of something, I don't speak for myself, I don't really care to do, because it connects me to my work, and that's slightly exhausting.
Okay.
So, I don't know if I answered your question at all, but like, I'm just kind of tired in the morning and know I've got to go back at night, and you know, it's something I've been evaluating just in general in my life, but that's just where I'm at. And that's where my skill set has been, and where I, get all my income.
So as we talked about before, you're not necessarily hungry in the morning.
Right.
When does hunger hit you? Is it around lunchtime?
Well,
noonish?
I mean, I know I need to eat to prepare
Okay.
for the afternoon, but I'm really not hungry till, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at that point, I can't necessarily eat because that's when things are going really fast at work.
Right.
So it's just this kind of, I don't know.
Interesting cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So something I did notice is your protein intake did seem to be a little bit low as well. And yeah, we can talk more about that later. But let's go ahead and jump into just kind of identifying perhaps some of the things that could be directly related to your goal. So eating more healthfully, possibly increasing protein could be good since we identified that was a little low. Increasing your water consumption.
Yeah.
Some of those pertinent things that we found were that you didn't get hungry until later in the day.
Right. The vegetables you mentioned, right?
Yes, that you had low vegetable and that you craved sweets. So that was something else that you could look into. Something else that I'm curious about is how frequently do you exercise in the week? Is it 2 to 3 times? 4 to 5? What would you say?
Well, exercise to me is kind of relative, like I got to walk my dogs and stuff like that, and I'm on my feet all night serving, so I don't necessarily work out or exercise outside of that because I'm always moving and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Well, that's good to know then. Okay, so maybe like 1 to 2 times a week if you're walking your dogs. Perhaps you're getting.
They need to be walked every day.
Every day.
And I work 5 days a week, so I'm not doing extra to go work out.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to answer that.
And what's the duration of that? About 30 minutes?
For walking the dog?
For walking the dog.
It depends. Again, like if they need to poop, could be longer. If one's anyway, there's 3 of them, so they can be a bit of a handful.
Okay.
So it all just depends. What'd you say? 30 minutes?
I said 30 minutes.
I mean, it might realistically be just get it done in 5, or it might take a longer walk with them.
Okay.
Which might be 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So it just depends.
Okay. So the big imbalances, I think, would be good to get started working on right now would probably be trying to incorporate a little more protein into your diet.
Okay.
Increasing your water intake. And what I would really like to see, I did notice that there was, as you said, you need that time to decompress after working, so there's some alcohol. I would really love to see how you feel, to maybe journal how it is that you feel on the nights that you don't drink, if maybe you're hungrier in the morning. Or maybe if you really limit yourself, because breakfast is so important, it really jumpstarts your whole day, it gets everything moving.
Right.
I would really like to see you eating breakfast, and so that's something we can talk about, maybe how we can get you to a place where you're possibly feeling hungry. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you feel that these things relate to your goal of eating healthier?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think almost anything would be an improvement to a degree. I mean, I do all right, and they're like healthier snacks than maybe it used to be, but yeah, anything is a step in the right direction.
Great. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, just to kind of get a good idea of where you are on wanting to change and make some of these positive changes in your life. 1 being not at all, 10 being, yeah, let's get started. Where do you think you are?
Um, I find myself at an 8.
Okay.
There's like this desire to make these changes, and then I fall back into this kind of like reality of my lifestyle. And so, um, if my lifestyle were different, I would say 10.
Okay. Okay.
And it being what it is, I'm kind of feeling like 6, but I know like I need to do it, so that's why I say 8.
Okay.
To be totally honest.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And I think 8 is a really great place to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we are done with the assessment and exploration phase and going through this, then we'll go ahead and I think we'll talk about kind of treatment intervention options and how we can get started. Now I can send you home today with some different things that you can start doing immediately. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
You bet.